All right. We're getting right into it. I think this should be good. We are going to be making a bunch of small teapots. I think it'll be relatively good, relatively fun, relatively something. We'll see how it goes. Um, I think I'm only going to make 3 today. Doing 5 the other day kind of burnt me out a little bit. So I think if we just do 3 together, we can finish them to completion versus how they were a couple days ago. Like I got to the 5th one, we got the spouts on, and then I kind of just ran out of steam. I did learn some cool stuff because I was so tired. I was trying something different, and we're going to make more angular teapots today that have the thumbnail. We're gonna make the thumbnail teapot, and we're gonna make it 3 times. And we're mainly doing that because I want to do that handle, and I think the handle lends itself really well to an angular form. Um, yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's a nice toasty day here. It's going to be in the 50s, which is pretty sweet. Little dog and I have been outside having a fire most of the morning already, which has been really lovely. Um, actually, may not have gotten enough clay this time. Interesting. It's like the perfect day for a hike. So I think we're gonna, after this is all done, we're probably gonna go on some kind of adventure out in the middle of somewhere. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the day goes. Like I said, I want these angular, but then I don't know if it actually needs to be angular, but it needs to be kind of like at a certain motion. Yo, how are you guys? I'm from the States. Hold on, my computer is weirdly low down, so it's hard to actually see the comments over there. Christina, how are you? I'm sorry that I didn't realize I had to request um, seeing the edits you did. I really appreciate you doing that. I'm excited to see what you said. Good. Today's great. It's beautiful out. It's like 50 something degrees out. The birds are out. Olive's happy. I've been having fires all morning. It's just like a lovely time, you know? From Maine, we're in Maine. Oh my God, we're neighbors. Germany. I want to go to Germany. Okay, awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. Definitely I'll check it out as right after this video. I can't believe it's already March. It's kind of mind blowing. I I don't really understand where February went. Not that I'm opposed to it being gone, but I'm just kind of surprised is all. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. It's like 54. We're gonna with the weird thing is it's gonna be a low of 9 degrees. It's gonna be great. From Japan, welcome. How are you? Angela, what do you want? What do you want from me? I said hello. How many times? So, so anyway, I'm really excited for these little teapot pendants. Yeah, cool. I think these are gonna be great. 3 a.m. What? K-pop, of course I know K-pop. I don't really know K-pop. If you tried to tell me a band or a group, I couldn't tell you. I have heard K-pop. Food in general is great, or food in Japan is great. I was struggling when I was in Japan last because I don't speak any Japanese, and I don't eat meat or fish or eggs or anything like that. So I was struggling to actually find food to eat. I was just eating 7-Eleven onigiri with plum sauce for most of my meals. Good for you, Angelo. I'm sure someone's going to break in any moment, so be careful. That's the feeling I get from what you're saying. I'm sure I would be terrified. All right, so we're going to just put a little gallery in here. And then I think that's it for the first little bit of that. So again, we're only going to make 3 today. I was burning out by the 5th on the last one. We never actually finished them on camera. So I think if I only make 3, we can probably finish to completion, a couple of them. No, turn off all the lights. Don't listen to him. Turn more lights off. You need more darkness. Embrace it. Good. Lock the basement door so no one can get in. Also, I'm going to use a torch a bunch today. It just kind of helps speed up the process. Thanks. We're making very miniature stuff today, as you can see. Yes, open up all the doors in your house. I think that is key. So someone yesterday, Pat wanted to have, or whenever I did this last 2 days ago, they wanted a lid to go up and down. I'm not going to have that. They're just going to be hung by your neck, by a string, by like a thing. But no, the lid is going to be fused on because I couldn't figure out how to practically do that without like losing the lid. So actually, Pat came up with a really great solution for it. I just don't want to do it because it seems like a lot of work. All right, there's number 1. Ah! Exactly. The best thing to do when you're home alone is just open up all the windows and all the doors, turn off all your lights, and then hide in the basement. Yeah, exactly. So I think that we'll just have it. So the Pat's idea was essentially you would put a hole through the lid, then a hole through the bottom of the piece, and then you could kind of wear it as a necklace, and where the lid could kind of come on and off as it goes, as it went. But guys, yes, he's clearly trolling. That's why I kept saying open up all the lights and open up all the doors. I mean, close all the door lights and blah 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 blah. Favorite time of the year? I like every season. I hate summer. I don't like heat. I've never been a big fan of heat, so cooler weather is nice for me. I really like spring when all my flowers are coming out. I mean, there are nice things about summer, like swimming without being cold in water and things like that, but okay. I'm pretty psyched. Oh, what's the temperature like in Germany in the summer? So I still have not committed, but I usually do some international trip, backpacking trip in July. So I didn't answer that, did I? I like it when my cherry blossoms are out. So March, I guess, spring. What's that in? I'm assuming you're saying Celsius. What's that in Fahrenheit? I you know, poorly educated over here. What's your favorite season, Christina? 93 is stupid hot. Man, oh man, that's so hot. What are you talking about? Not too hot. I would die if it was 90, 93. Really? Clearly, I don't do heat well. You know what? That makes sense to me. That seems. I feel like from our conversations, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, well, that implies that you have a pool, right? I'm really liking these little doodads. These are gonna. So when these things are done, they're gonna shrink 14.5%, and so they're gonna get real little. I think they're gonna be great. I will say I really like summer for watermelon. We are making tiny teapot pendants today, just three of them. If we are feeling more excited, we'll make more after. But and Glass is really looking out for you, man. Pat, I was just talking about you. I sure could. I'm not going to though. I feel like so I switched this year. I switched over to just wearing shells for everything when I'm outside. And it's made a huge difference. When I went from, and I used to wear insulated stuff all the time, and it just never helped. So a shell with something thin underneath, not too bad. It actually made me warmer because you're not sweating. Oh no, of course nothing good. Why would we ever say anything good, Pat? I'm liking this. That's great. I say that all the time too. No one else seems to say that ever. So a discovery I had um, when we were making when I was doing these off camera the other day. As long as it's pottery appropriate, you can say any joke you want. Angelo, it's too late, man. You committed to this. You gotta finish out the bit, and finishing it out is being in jail, I think. A normal joke? All right, let's hear your normal joke. Wait, what makes a joke normal versus like? Are you saying like it's not Potter related? Okay, who's there? Actually, we're gonna make one of these round because I'm kind of curious that top handle on a rounder teapot, just to see what happens. Because that'll show me for when I scale this thing up. I don't either, Christina. But that's why I'm enjoying YouTube. You get like weird people here. It's great. It's much more fun than TikTok. Daisy who? Well, so I was thinking about we can't necessarily double wall these, but what if we made it look like it's double walled by poking holes everywhere? I don't get it. But now that we're seeing jokes, here's my corniest joke I got. I have not had enough tea yet this morning, Christina. All right, here's my bad joke since we're doing this. How's one amoeba talk to another amoeba with a cell phone? Right? Right? I don't no, I do not have kids. No kids in the future either. Made sure of it. Hey, happy Saturday. How are you? I probably have. It's honestly my only joke, Christina. I don't have any other jokes. I've never been like one to memorize them. Look how cute this is. All right, let's hear it. It better be, you gotta really dumb it down for me, clearly. Who's there? Howie? Howie who? Bye-bye. All right, next we're gonna make lids next. That's pretty good. That was easier for my little pea brain to register. All right, that's our caliper measurement for our lid. It is so small. That point to that point is how big the lid needs to be. It's teeny tiny, you know. Oh, I can't complain. It's a beautiful day, right? It's stunning out. Hey, Christina, if you want to restrict Angelo, that'd be cool. Or you can block him if you want. He has to be more creative with his bits. He's just spamming at this point. Thank you. You know, I'm all for good trolley behavior, but you gotta be more creative. You can't just like, I don't know. It's kind of boring, right? What's the best way to talk to a billboard? I have no idea. Yeah, he was bringing the vibe down quite poorly. I feel like people like that. There's only a matter of time before they say some like not so cool stuff. Okay, that was pretty good. I like that. Oh my God. All right. So what do you have planned today, Christina and Pat and Sally? What's the day look like on this relatively fine day? Ah, no! I screwed up. I made it too small. Shoot. I got to restart. Well, I almost did it. That was almost it, but I messed up. I went into it at the last second there. All right. I appreciate you hanging out. Mm, I hope so too. What is your shop again? I know we've talked about it, but I can't register slight mild jokes today, so clearly I need some assistance. That's gonna be so cool. Oh man, I hope you have fun. What's up? How are you? Perfect bird watching day. That's awesome. That's super cool. How long have you been doing that for? Okay, let's see if I can. Welcome back. Let's see if I can not mess this one up. It gets really weird when you start making them this small, it turns out. That seems too big to me, but when I look at the piece, it doesn't actually seem too big. So I'm gonna clean that up, torch it. We're gonna look at it on the piece, see if it works. It might work for a different one, so I'm glad you like it. Oh, I have 100% confidence in you here. In you, you definitely got it. She's a neighbor of mine, Christina. So close by. Well, it is ridiculously tiny. All right, so there is the lid. It's not going to focus, is it? Whatever. Let's see how well we did. So this is the one it was for, and oh, it's perfect. We couldn't have had a better fit. Look at that. That's fantastic. Yeah, right? It's really nice. The birds are all out. They're all happy. Okay, this one is slightly bigger. These are not really doing it. They're not, I think I have to mostly eyeball these. Was the pottery game any good? Is it still available? Can I play said pottery game? You should try. Take a class somewhere. Definitely don't commit and just buy all your own stuff. It's too expensive. But I also don't want to tell you what to do with your money, so enjoy yourself, however you end up doing it. Ugh. I can't believe it's so. The last time I made these teapot pendants, I was looking back on pictures, and it turns out it was almost 2 years ago. Is the last time I made these. So it's been a minute. I didn't know you did that. That's awesome. Sounds good. Enjoy the pop-up. That's fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're here listening, and thanks for saying hi. I won't ask you any questions right now since you're driving, but I hope it goes really well. It's the perfect size teapot, right? How are you, Freya? No! And these ones are tricky. I keep messing them up. That's okay. We got plenty of clay. Okay. I'm into it. Is it still available for download, or is it is it just gone under? It's gone forever. That's so cool. I've been uh, I've been feeding my chickadees by hand the last 2 weeks. It's been really fun. I haven't for the last couple of days because of the crazy amount of bears. I haven't been putting out any seed, but welcome back. Um, yeah, I feel you. I need more sleep tonight myself. Chickadees are so cute. I have this one little chickadee friend. He comes to my window every morning asking for his breakfast. Um, I've been feeling bad that I haven't given him anything for the last 2 days, but it's also been super warm out, and so like I'm not as feeling rushed to give him any food, you know. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Cool. I'll take a look at it after. I'd be curious if a pottery, not that I really need any more pottery based anything in my life, but that would be still fun. Check it out. Yeah, they do. They come, so I sit out on my deck. I leave Olive inside so she doesn't do anything, and I put birdseed in my hands, and I sit there like this, and they come and they sit on my fingertips. It's two of them actually. One of them is more confident than the other, but they'll sit on my fingertips. They take some seed, pick the right one, and then they'll fly off, eat it, and then come back and do that over and over again. Later, Freya. Sleep well. It's it it takes a lot of patience. So they're willing to do it, and especially um, if it's cold out, they're like really eager for food, so they'll do it. Welcome back, Glass. Right? It's pretty great. How do you make the clay? I just buy the clay. I used to use a giant, so when I made pottery, when I started teaching myself how to make pottery, I did used to make my own clay. And I had a big thing called a blunger, which is just a big mixing thing. And I would just add in the ingredients that I needed, um, blunge it, and then I would extrude it through a pug mill so it just kind of poops out a log, and you cut it off and boom. But it's a lot of work, and I just don't care enough. Clay's not that expensive. This is, I mean, this clay is double the price of stoneware. This is $67 a box versus my stoneware that I don't buy, but I used to use this. At the moment, it's $35 a box. Nice. Oh my god, I love opossums. I can't listen to anything else than what I have on, otherwise I'm gonna get demonetized. I just have like a random lo-fi station on at the moment. Okay, let's see if that's the right size. I'm kind of guessing here a little bit, just because the calipers don't seem to really. Oh, we're guessing. We're we're doing a good job guessing today. Look at that. Couldn't be better. It's pretty nice. I hope you have a yard at some point so you can make animal friends, Christina. Well, here, I don't know what time it is. I started the stream at 11 o'clock, and I can't imagine that we've been in here very long, so probably 11:30, something like that right now. Probably 11:20. Oh, okay. Not bad. Um, that's a loaded question, Pat. So here's a little backstory for those who don't know my family history here. As I've never talked about on YouTube, so, but I'm a third generation artist. Granddad was a sculptor. Grandmom was a photographer. My mom is a pianist. My dad's an architect. My uh, one of my aunts was an encaustic artist. An uncle who just passed away was like a kind of a sculptor kind of dude. He did the original Sesame Street claymation. I have an uncle who has had a stroke, but he was a woodworker. I have another aunt who's a potter up in Massachusetts. One of my aunts, who was married to the woodworker but not anymore, was she's an actor. She was the redheaded nurse from Star Trek. And then my cousins are musicians, really talented musicians, or kind of doing mixed media sculpture kind of stuff. And so I kind of just was in the art world. And I actually went into metal sculpture first, and then I taught myself how to make pottery. So I just kind of lucked out on the accessibility to be an artist. Not that I would call myself an artist, but anyway. No, 8%, that's not enough. Morning, Dima. How are you? Yeah, right? It's a pretty cool family. Okay, this is the smallest one. I don't even know how to, this measurement is not even helpful. It's too small. So I was welding a lot, and I had okay respirators and things like that, but my spit and my snot was black still. I was clearly not, the respirators were not good enough. And I have all of my welding equipment that I've inherited was from people who got lung cancer from welding, and they had to stop. And so it's like pottery has a lot of its own issues, health-wise, but they seem way less dangerous than the welding and metal sculpture. I still do like wire sculpture stuff, but I don't really weld anymore unless it's for necessity. That's the best reason right there, Christina. Okay, that's going to be too big. I think that's going to be the right size, but it's getting too close. Yeah, right. I mean, again, like, so here's my issue. I did go to an art school, and so art school ruined the definition of what an artist is for me, and kind of devalued that terminology. And plus, I've come from a very like artistic family, so I was in the art world a lot, and so my definition of an artist personally is an artist is an amateur version of whatever that person becomes. So it's like you're an artist before you become an illustrator. You're an artist before you become a painter, a potter, a sculptor. That's just kind of like a very, it feels like an artist is an amateur at whatever they want to be, whatever they're doing. That's my definition of it. And so I don't consider myself an artist because I am not an amateur at this point at this. Yeah. It really jaded my opinion of, I don't know. I have a kind of a cynical opinion on art just because of how I was raised in it and around it and saw how it functions from for my entire life. And so my opinion is pretty low on a lot of artists as well. But yeah, and I went to a very conceptual art school, and so no one could really do anything. They could just talk about what they were doing. And again, it just, I don't, there's no like, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody who calls himself an artist in that kind of context. That's a personal opinion. If anybody calls me an artist, it's a compliment because they don't know my definition of it, right? I'm never going to say, no, I'm not an artist in that context. But in this context where I'm talking about my opinions on it, and how I feel personally about it, that's it. Yeah. So I appreciate it and I take it as a compliment, but that's not my own definition of the word. Yeah, of course. I think this lid's too big. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it actually would have been the perfect size, but I cut it poorly. I wonder if I can just put this back on and cut it again. It's annoying that you can't take measurements. I can't do that. All right, we'll just do it again. Not a big deal. Well, self-expression is, in a way, the definition that we just talked about, right? Because it is in that context an amateur view site of the world unless it is taken to an extreme, right? Uh, Not only, but it's a prior education and then just being in the arts. Like I've been like, I grew up. My grandfather started an art organization with some other people. My grandmother volunteered there for 30 years. I spent a lot of my life there. Um, and seeing how they function, and then the people who participate. And my area is it really shows an extreme, but it still translates because there's so much wealth in the area that I have. You get a lot of people who are like wanting to be artistic, and they have the money to get themselves into places, and then people buy it because they're friends with that person. And I don't know, a lot of high end art is just a way to launder money, and so it's like the system is a little broken. I have a lot of issues with a lot of parts of it, but yeah, obviously too, I'm generalizing my opinion, and it doesn't translate to every single person that I interact with. Um, but yeah, anyway, it's what's up? How are you? I love your Instagram page. You should post more. You make such beautiful stuff, Christina. Big fan, big supporter here. So, Dima, you can be doing pottery for 50 years and still be an artist, in my mind. You know, I've seen people who've been doing it for like decades and decades, but the amount of time they've actually put into the craft and the other aspects of it is like what I've done in like 2 months in the 50 years they've done it. So they're still artists. So it's not, and you don't have to be professional. It's so here's the thing. I don't generally like talking about this because it feels like I'm just slandering a bunch of people and making it seem like there's an elitist thing aspect to it. And so I'm probably going to just stop talking because it makes me feel bad saying it because I'm not. It feels like what I'm saying is hurtful, but it's not intended that way. And so I'm just going to stop talking about my opinion on this. Um, yeah, I think you're super talented, Christina. I think you have some seriously cool potential for some beautiful stuff. Um, I don't. Again, I don't want to like dissuade. My opinion is like very, I think, different than the majority, and I don't think it's necessarily a good opinion or a bad opinion. It's just my own personal kind of understanding of the system and the world. Mm. Fluffy, what's up? Okay, this looks like the right size. It might be too small or too big still, but definitely worth following. If you aren't, everybody should go follow Christina. All right, I think that's too small or too big still. But again, I can't take measurements because the calipers are not really showing what I need. Oh my God, it's so close. I wonder if we can just soften the edge with a sponge, it'll fit in. We're making more pendants. They seemed very popular on uh, Instagram and everything. So, and I haven't made them in a million years, so it feels like I should do it. People have been asking for these since I started making them a couple years ago. I would have, yeah, and I would have gone to the same art school I went to. I just probably would have started pottery earlier. The so the reason that I liked the school I went to is since it was so concept based. No one was ever in the studio making stuff. I had free reign of everything in this. I could make clay, I could fire whenever I wanted, I could do anything. I could make any glaze I wanted, and no one would ever be there. Um, it would have been nice to maybe go to a different art school to actually learn how to make stuff and be a part of a community. But I'm also kind of a hermit, so I think it worked well to my personality. Yeah, agreed. How long have I done pottery? And I taught myself in late 2014. Okay, I think we can actually get away with this lid. So now we got to make a couple spouts. So I also, the school that I went to, not only was it like a very concept-based school, but, and it might be different now. The school might, I mean, they've changed a lot, it seems, over the years. Um, but um, it was definitely more for like illustrators, not three-dimensional artists. Can you define old and new? If you're talking about like people who are dead, I prefer people who are living. I don't really care about dead people's art. There, well, that's so, Pat, I know there's a lot of things that I'm generalizing as well. Um, and there are so many nuances to anything. So I think there's always exceptions and there's always differences in just based in context and personality and what the medium is. And there's so many factors to it that it is, I blanket statemented, and I don't think that's fair or accurate necessarily, but you know what I mean. I don't quite understand what you mean by the paint thing. I yeah, I know. Too many hot takes apparently. I usually just keep my opinion to myself, but every so often we have a little conversation about it. The problem is I don't make as much stuff while we're doing that because I'm talking, but that's okay. Steven, remind me what you do again? Yeah, this is my full-time job. Yep. And a lot of it, there's one of our spouts. It's an interesting, wait, we didn't bend this or do anything to this. Whatever, we'll deal with it later. The What I find beautiful, someone else might find hideous. And so, again, that then makes it hard to define any of these things because everything is so subjective and beauty is so subjective. And like, how do you even say one thing is nicer than something else? It's all of it's based on personal opinion and like how you've moved through the world and see things like that. Uh, my T-shirt says Orcas Island. It's a an island out on the west coast, right above Seattle. Drawing, drawing's difficult. I think it's again, it's all it's person to person, right? Have I been here? Yeah, I went to art school out in Oregon, and um, most of my breaks when I went out there, my grandfolks are from Vancouver Island in British Columbia, and so my breaks I would usually take a train to Seattle, and then I would bike from Seattle up to Vancouver mainland, and then take a ferry over to the islands, and or I would just take a ferry to Orcas Island or somewhere in the San Juans and do like kind of backpacking camping trips. Hmm. Yeah, my ex made it for me. Uh, she used a linoleum block. She actually gave me the block so I could remake it if I wanted to, but I didn't want to because I just found it so sweet that she did that. You know when you receive a gift that you're just not expecting and it just hits? That one I cried about. I was like, it was one of the nicer gifts I've received in a really long time. I was not expecting it. There might be orcas. I mean, I've seen a lot of orcas as a kid out in British Columbia. I haven't seen any recently, so, but I assume so, right? And she did it such a great job. Very, very, very sweet of her. Yeah, do you you don't feel bad about throwing them away? Is that the thing? Oh, it's my birthday in 16 days. Speaking of which, isn't Christina, isn't your birthday coming up? Aren't you also in March? Aren't you like the 16th? Aren't you a day before me? And Sally's almost on the 23rd, 24th, if she's still in here. Are you? That's awesome. It's super fun. So when I was a kid, I used to do block prints all the time. Yes, I knew it. Happy almost birthday. I don't. No one sends me birthday cards anyway. So I don't really have to be that worried about that kind of stuff. I have a weird relationship with my birthday. I always feel kind of weird on that there's a day that's supposed to be like celebrating me. Maybe I just don't like the attention, so I go out and I just buy a lot of fun things for Olive usually. What? That's awesome. Can you send me a picture? I want to see. Let's see. Totally. Well, so here's the next thing is that I probably didn't buy this. My uncle bought a house. Uncle Not bought a house on Orcas Island a couple of years ago, and so whenever they show up or hang out or whatever, they give me some kind of Island merch. Um, so I don't think I actually bought this T-shirt, but yes, I've definitely been there. Later, Dima. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping in. I know, right? Pretty crazy. So what are you doing? We can go on a camping trip together. Do some backpacking. Dual birthday backpacking adventure. Not in person, I don't. I regret. Yeah, yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah. He really went to town on my haircut this time. All right, last spout. Um, Give me 30 seconds to go pee. You can just watch this thing spinning around in circles. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. Pretty easy to do, it seems like. All right, so next thing we need to do is trim these guys. And we're gonna try to trim this differently this time. We're gonna trim it like, attempt to trim it like this and see if this makes our life easier than what we did last time. I, I don't take compliments well, apparently. I like people to be mean to me. Does it works better for my whatever. Must be Bonnie. I don't understand. All right, let's trim these. Okay, perfect. Yeah, right. That's what's going on the teapot from now on. Just real fat spouts. Sydney, what's good? I I do not know half of what you just said. Okay, this is definitely a better way to trim these little doozy whatsits. Gotcha. No, I don't know. What? What do you mean clicking? Like the lid is doing this and clicking, going up and down? Yeah, what are you glazing? It has to be a soft insult though, like a loving insult, you know? Is that what's happening? Oh man, little teapots are always fun though. Well, how are you glazing it? What's the idea here? That can you I've never heard that before. Can you try to send me a video of that? That's very odd. Okay, where is that really baby trimming tool that we were using? You can't go wrong with flowers. I love that. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. That's very odd. Just from the description, I couldn't put a placement on why that would happen. You know what? I have another trimming tool. Hold up. Hold your butts, guys. Let's, hmm. Hi, cute dog. How are you? Okay, so I have this little mini loopity-doop. We'll see if that works. You've been freaking yourself out with doing the scorpion? That's kind of amazing, honestly. Flowers are where they're at, though. You can't go wrong with a good flower. Okay. Yeah, totally fair. All right, there's our little butt. Super. super weird. The comments I feel like don't come in. I feel like they come in waves sometimes. 'Cause it feels like I have to really like look up, even though it just shows one comment. It's very confusing to me. Thanks. Appreciate that. How's your day been so far? You guys busy over in Scotland? Um, so it just depends on how cold it is tomorrow. If it's warm, yes. If it is cold, it's supposed to get down to 9 degrees tonight, so I'm not totally sure. I have to teach in the morning. It's Sunday tomorrow, yeah. So I have to teach in the morning, and then it just depends on. uh, I'm not doing that probably. Uh, you're a pervert, you know that. Anyway, that's awesome. It was their birthday yesterday, correct? But I'm not entirely sure. Uh, a lot of the time I'm in here is just how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling good about it or not. And every time that I've said I'm gonna like make a promise to go live, I never do. So uh, best I will try to do these like I've now finally figured out how to like make it so I can schedule one on my phone. And so that's I probably won't always do that because I won't always know if I really want to be in here or not, but I'll try to do that. Hmm. So something I'm not doing with these is I haven't signed a single one of these pendants. And I don't think I really need to, just because I think the style is defined enough, even though it's different. Um, but the other thing is I don't have something small enough as a chop to sign it. And so what I'm kind of thinking about doing is drawing an incredibly small teapot and faking a chop with a drawing of a teapot. But it has to be so minuscule. I'm not entirely sure how to do it. Um, yeah, there's the but. They're functionally wearable. They're not going to be functionally usable. We're going to seal the lids in. I mean, there will be a hole to the spout and everything, but right? Christina, do you ever see my mini teapots on mini teapot? I used to make the lid, the little nubbin, were small teapots. I used to do those all the time, maybe like 3, 4 years ago. I used to be really obsessed with making little things like this, but so tiny. Um, I kind of lost steam, and I'm back on the kick. I'll see if I can find a photo. The lids of the mini teapot that were the nubbins for the other bigger teapots were removable. Um, I made some really funky little things in the past. Okay. I maybe I'll try to find an old video if I can. That's gonna take me some time to go through my hard drives of old content. But maybe I have like a one that's broken or something that's in my house still. Yeah, it was pretty silly. There was this really cool one. I made a big one that actually had a teapot for there was a triple. It was the teapot itself was about this big. It was like an herbal infusion pot. It had a usable teapot on top as its as thing for like 100 milliliters, and then that one had a mini one on top of that, and the lid on that one was also removable. Um, that was my triple decker teapot. I have a photo of that on my Instagram. I can find that, unless I'm misremembering, but that's what I remember it being. I glazed it in this cool titanium Shino that never came out as nice since. Yeah, a little ridiculous. Cool. I'm gonna poke. Well, it's not much of a filter. I will poke a hole in these. The problem is that you're not gonna be able to put tea in, right? Because we're gonna fuse the lid on. But yes, these will be essentially, if the lid was removable, they would be totally functional. Granted, they wouldn't pour even if you could, because I can't science, but the whatever it is with the water, it's too dense. It'll just bead. It won't pour. It'll just bead up. I can't do science. Brain not smart, in that context. Um, okay with the chemistry stuff, not great with everything else. Yeah, for some reason the words that I'm trying to think of are not coming to mind. But okay, we're done with this. I'm glad we're only doing 3 of these. I think I actually have the energy to keep going, but I'm glad that we're kind of just only doing this at the moment. Because I think 3 in a break, and then maybe I'll come back and we'll do some more. And I don't know. It also is beautiful out and it's sunny out, so and little dog is so cute right now, and I think having a fire outside sounds really lovely. Another fire outside sounds really lovely. Okay, so these handles. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate that. Okay, so I only made one of these once, and that was 2 days ago. So I don't really know what I'm doing here. I think the idea, these aren't long enough. Hold on. This isn't enough clay. So what I found is that we're actually gonna roll them out and then we're gonna carve them, which is something I've up until 2 days ago I've never done before. Never carved a handle before. Welcome back. So let's just think about these stylistically for a second. So I got my little guy. What I want to do, we're going to think about height. Obviously, this is too thick, but we're not going to worry about that at the moment. So essentially, we want this height. And when I say this height, I mean significantly smaller than the height that I just said. Good. I'm glad. I really appreciate you guys. It's very sweet. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, so really just looking at width here. So we're gonna start with 2 flats and a top and a fat top. And I think I just want to get a base thing and then this can start drying. Cool. It really is, yeah. Okay, so that's number 1. Keep my lids together so I don't mess that up. That's number 1. This is number 2. Get the other lid out here. Oh wait, I have to poke holes in the lids real quick before I forget. I don't have to do this, but I think it's a cute feature, you know? So no, I'm not going to carve anything like design-wise. Like imagery, I'm going to carve the handle into the form that it wants to be. Instead of forming it now, I'm going to put it on thick and then reduce instead of do it how I normally do it, if that makes sense. That's how I did the square, the lid of the one that I posted. I don't know. I didn't know there. I mean, that makes sense that there's someone who does that, but I don't know who that is. What kind of stuff does he make? Yeah, yeah. Um, I think I just need to like be a little bit more patient and let it set up, and maybe do some more of the carving prior to actually attaching it. These are so small that I can kind of get away with it, but I think I'd have to actually let it set up harder and then do the remaining stuff later. Huh. McTavish. That's pretty cool. I really like this round one. I'm glad we did one round one. Mostly too because I do a lot of rounder teapots, and so if we're going to be doing this scaled up on an actual teapot, it'd be nice to have the reference on a round teapot to see if it even looks good. We're just making like essentially little maquettes at this point. Okay, so next step is we got to attach our spouts. Nope, the lids are over here. But thank you for reminding. I poked in the holes already. They're so silly. They're so cute. They probably will be fused in with glaze, but I'm gonna also fuse them in um, with, well, you'll see. I'm just gonna like make sure they're stuck on the gallery of the teapot. There's our one hole. I think about that in so many aspects of this job. Like I'll go out and I'll sit by a fire while I fire the kiln for like, however many hours, and I'm like, this is my job. I just get to sit outside and put wood in a kiln. Like getting paid to make fires, I so lucky. I'm so lucky. I've been so privileged to be able to do this full time. I just so utterly thankful for so many things. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is attach the lid. I don't think I have the ability to maintain the stress as a doctor. It sounds tough. Oh yeah, can't complain. I've been living like an old retired man for like the last probably like 7 years. It's been pretty great. I assume, hopefully not, but I assume that that will eventually have to end. But I'm gonna do it for as long as I can. Okay. That doesn't sound that bad, honestly. Okay. Okay, yeah, this was the right choice to do three. Oh yeah. Um, I don't know. So these are going to be most likely fired in the next soda firing, which means I probably won't make these orange or whatever. So my assumption is I'm going to use a glaze called Ayumi, which is a really lovely like robin egg blue that has some red and stuff in it. Um, but I'm not 100% sold on that yet. So I think that's the next firing. I'm not entirely sure if that's the next firing. So I kind of have to figure out where they're going. No, I make all my own glazes. Mm. Yeah, I have, I don't know, like 1,000 pounds of random dry ingredients. And I just make whatever I need. I usually make smaller batches, like 3,000 gram batches of a glaze at a time. This particular glaze that we're talking about has spodumene in it, or spodumene, I guess is the right pronunciation, which is a lithium-based flux, which means that it's expensive at this point. Luckily, there's another one I use called Caribbean, which is that kind of ocean blue, and that one has petalite and spodumene or spodumene, and they're both lithium-based fluxes, and so they've been like crazy expensive since the increase in lithium prices. It's the only downside to the glazes that I have been making. And in fact, the Shino that I really like also has petalite in it. But I was able to find a company called US Pigments, and they have restocked both of those materials, and they're not too bad. I think I bought 50 pounds. Oh no, excuse me. I bought 5 pounds of petalite for $78 recently. I think that was my most recent purchase from them. It took like 3 months to get here though, so. Well, that's kind of why I'm leaning towards the potential for like more. Another reason I'm leaning towards the potential for oranges and pinks and purples because I can use an underglaze, and then I can use a Shino as just a topper. You know, right? It's expensive. My name's Will. So I'd go buy anything Will related. It's annoying. A lot of the glazes I like use some sort of lithium-based flux, um, but whatever. Again, it's not like crazy, but you know, and I don't go through like an absurd amount of glaze. So you know, the stuff that I bought recently will last me probably throughout this year. Um, if I use it sparingly. Okay, this song is blowing my mind. I can't. It's too repetitive. Ah. Sure, I'll go by Prince William. Why not? Oh, Grizzly Borate's starting to go up in price. That's not good. I don't use that one as often because it's mostly a base for my raku. Like, what is it? Like Ferguson's White's only it's like 80% Grizzly Borate, 20% methylene cyanide, something like that. I think that's the only real time I use it, but occasionally I have a recipe that needs it. Yeah, cobalt's crazy. Someone just one of the women I fire with just gifted me like 3 pounds of cobalt carbonate, so I'm good. And I have cobalt oxide up the wazoo, so I'm good on that. It's gone? Do we have a substitute? Is there a 1-to-1, or do we have to finagle and just not ever have that glaze again? Sounds good to me. All right. Now we're getting on to the fun part. Is EPK back? I haven't tried to buy it in a while. I've been really enjoying Georgie's Pioneer Kaolin, so I don't really care if it's back, but is it back? Gross. Ferrofrits are getting more and more expensive. The dude I was talking to recently, who's a distributor, said that um, the Ferro company sold, and the new buyers are just upping the price like crazy. Gotcha. Okay. As far as like wadding goes, I actually like the Georgie's Pioneer Kaolin more. It's been more. It breaks apart when you're using it as a wadding, but it comes off really easily compared to EPK after you fire something. So I've been enjoying it in that context, and it seems to be a 1-to-1. So, and it's cheaper by like half. So I'm not gonna, even if EPK is available again, I'm not going back. Oh, all good. There's so much pottery talk. Why are we talking about pottery while we're making pottery? It's ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. Okay. So essentially what I'm doing real quick is, just so you guys are aware, I'm thinning off the two edges and then leaving the top fat. And I'm going to carve away the top after the fact. What do I need? Sorry, I'm gonna have to pay attention here a little bit more because we're getting into like the really minute detail parts of this. So I have to just like really stare at this for a second. I didn't expect that to fall off. Interesting. I added too much water. Fascinating. Lesson learned. All right, maybe I'll. What's the move here? I dried it out too far, and then I added too much water back. Interesting. I don't know how to come back from that without making the handle again. So, lesson learned. Did I? You didn't see anything. I'm glad. Honestly, I feel like most people who watch my lives, at least on when I did more on TikTok, they were sleeping in the background. Nothing. We didn't mess anything up, Christina. You didn't see nothing. You weren't here. It didn't happen. I'm definitely not dropping handles left and right. Okay. They're just, it was getting, so it was too dry and too wet, and so it slid off while I was working on it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to show you guys a close-up in a second, but we're not quite ready for that. So once this is attached on all three of them, then we'll go back and then we'll carve the handles. So I really like this handle so far on around Teapot as well, so that's really exciting. Yeah, right? Good. So I'm excited. After this, I'm gonna go sit in a hot tub for an hour and sit outside for a bit. Oh, it's gonna be lovely. It's gonna be a nice Saturday. Yeah, so like I said, I live on a big compound, and my folks next door uh, have a giant um, cedar wood hot tub that I sneak over and use every so often. And I also built a cow trough hot tub that I heat with a fire. That's pretty fun. I'm gonna buy one of those coils that you can heat a cow trough with. I think that's gonna be my birthday present to myself. Right? I got it made. I can't really complain. Yeah, first thing I did this morning, I like got up, snuck over, turned that thing up to 102 degrees. And so I'm hoping by the time this video is over, it's gonna be toasty over there. Maybe go pick an orange later. It's gonna be lovely. It could be, Will. Exactly. It's gonna be lovely, very relaxing. Oh my God, that sounds amazing. Super jealous that that's not, well, I don't have anything to be jealous about, but I wish that was close by too. That sounds lovely. A friend of mine is down in New Mexico and she seems to be going to hot springs all the time and doing cool stuff. Very jealous of that too. When I lived out in Oregon, I used to drive to Tillamook all the time. And in the forest, there's this really cool uh, hot spring. And I would go relatively often to that, which was nice. It's like a 2 mile hike up into this cool little area. It was really lovely. Later. Thanks for hanging out. Say happy birthday to Garin for me, please. All right, so we'll carve it in a sec, but there we go so far. Pretty cute, eh? They're really cool. This one is a pretty popular one, but since you have to hike in, it's not as popular. So, of course, always a pleasure. All right, let me have some more tea. Thanks. Yeah, three again. Three was the move. I'm losing steam fast. As long as she had fun, that's all that matters. That's cool. It's really nice, isn't it? I feel like most of Oregon is just stunning. I sometimes miss it. I sometimes I'm like, maybe I move back out to Oregon. Maybe one day. Later. I kind of like how ridiculously tall these are, though I think I'm going to make this one slightly shorter. Oh, oh my. Oh my. Check that out. Look how cool that is. Where it has a slight curve to it. There's something there. There's some potential there. Me? Couldn't be me. I appreciate it. Mm. Yeah, there yeah, beautiful places all over for sure. Yeah, we're gonna keep this one a little rounded for some reason. I feel like that's the move. Oh, I screwed up. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's cool. That's a nice place to live. Only been around that area once. I was driving when I drove back from Oregon to this coast. Okay, I think we're good. I have to remember we're reducing. I'm like trying to do more than I need to. Yeah, that makes sense. That'll be fine. I'm learning. I'm learning though. What I'm learning is that they really want these just for my sake later of trimming. I really want these side pieces to be quite thin because they're going to be trimmed anyway, but or carved away anyway. But it would make my life a lot easier because that's not the majority of the trimming. That does sound magical. Interesting. So I can tell I'm getting tired because I'm not talking as much. So you're wondering why? That's why. Losing spoons? Yeah. I'm running out of. All right, Pat. See you in a bit. I'm running out of steam, Christina. I don't like this one. I don't like that. What I think we're gonna do is, you're right. I think we're actually gonna put a back handle on this one instead, which means I now have to clean up the mess I just made, but that's okay. Oh my God. I want to smash the handle. Boop. I don't want to smash this teapot. I like this teapot a lot. Okay, back handle. How do we make a back handle? Okay, we want to make a back handle. Yeah, they're going to be 115 bucks each. So just as a heads up. You should. I was with a student yesterday, and wait, yesterday? Yes, Friday. And we broke all of his stuff. Just we went on a smashing rampage. It was great. That handle's too big. It was really nice. He did it too quickly. I was gonna try to film it for our because he's on my clay tour. I think so, right? Don't like this handle. Do we like this handle, or should I make it a square? I think we should make it more angular. And maybe not as fat. But this clay is no good, which is the reason I kind of just went for it like that is because it was cracking on me. It's interesting, these take me pretty much as long as it does to take and, make a like, a actual teapot. Little less time, we're at 116 minutes for 3 teapots. Um, so obviously it's a little faster, but not by much. If you decide to start smashing stuff, Christina, make sure you film it. These people hate it when you smash stuff, and it's really fun to watch people get upset online when you post stuff about smashing stuff. So, highly recommend it. It is. It's fantastic. All right, needs a little cleanup, but now we have a nice little square handle. Ah, okay, we're good. Yep. And if you show your face while you do it, just what I find also really gets people a kick out of people is just don't do any facial expression whatsoever. For me, I mean, it works for me at least. I feel like I've seen other people do more with like showing disdain and breaking or whatever. I do it all over the place. If I'm making a video, sometimes I like to do it outside, but I make sure it's into a bucket so you don't necessarily see the bucket, but it's less cleanup. Exactly. That seems to get people get a kick out of the expressionless thing. Okay, actually might carve this one as well. Interesting. So there we are at the moment, but I think I'm going to carve into it a little bit because it's big, but again, it is a pendant, so I do want to carve into that a little bit. So, oh God, let me sit against this wall for half a second and drink some tea. Okay, we're so close. Let's carve these out. So we're gonna start with this guy, and I'm just gonna kind of finagle him a little bit, you know? Tea breaks are necessary, they really are. You gotta reset every so often. What kind of tea are you drinking? Nice. I'm sure it will. What time's your dance class? I'm just drinking more gold bud, gold tipped, gold bud, whatever it's called, puer. I'm just such a sucker for puer when I'm working. Just never goes bitter, pretty stable tasting. I don't mind if it gets cold, you know. So that's what we got going on so far. Nice. Well, it's nice that's close by. So I originally was gonna mess with the top, right? Isn't that gonna be sweet on a bigger teapot? I actually kind of like the top not getting flattened or anything because it kind of works with this one with the rounded form. So I might just keep doing a little bit more cleanup, and then this is gonna just be done, which is kind of cool. I was expecting to have to do a bunch more to it, but I actually really like the direction it's moving as far as like maintaining its curve. I'm gonna carve the spout too a little bit. Why not? There are no rules here. What do you mean, Angel? All right, number one done. Pretty cute, eh? All right, put that to the side. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, I think I put it there specifically because people stopped buying my stuff because they didn't like the fact that there wasn't a flange. But I truly don't believe that it matters if your lid fit is good enough. But the positive is that if your lid fit isn't great, then that does save you. So thanks. I'm glad you like it. Now this one I didn't hit with the torch first. And I'm noticing the difference. So that's good to know. So I'm probably gonna. So I had that giveaway going on, right, for that double World Cup. I'll probably announce a giveaway winner tomorrow. Odds are pretty good to win it because not many people came over from Instagram or anything. So there's not many people who actually entered. And then it's also US based. So, and I know people on there are not from the US who did enter. So you got like a 1 in 20 chance. It's pretty good. All right. Good luck. Have fun. Tell me all about it. I want to hear about it afterward. Yeah, it's for a double walled black teacup. Check out my short on YouTube. I could have, Pat, but I don't like how when we did I did one last night off camera, and I was really not enjoying how it hung when it sat. I think people are gonna really like the upright when it's a necklace later. Nope, there's a giveaway. I'll announce it tomorrow. Just go back, go to my most recent short or my second short. There's a black cup with holes, double-walled pot that I usually sell for 300 bucks with shipping and everything. It's up for sale for free. You just have to live in the States because I don't want to ship internationally. It's too expensive. It's like 40 bucks to ship out. It's already expensive to ship in internationally. I mean, domestically, but yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, if it and the prices internationally to ship is just getting more and more expensive, so it's just like it's too much for me. If we have a big milestone on YouTube, like 50,000 subscribers or something, which I don't know if that'll ever happen, but we'll do an international giveaway if we do that. Nope, you just have to comment on it. All you have to do is comment on that post and say, be in the U.S. and I'll pick someone on tomorrow or maybe even this evening. And subscribe to me here. That's the only other thing. You don't have to like the post. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You just have to follow me here. You don't have to follow me on any other social media. Just on YouTube and say something on the post, and you're in. Entered to win. Yeah. Well, these are not for giveaway. I've given away tiny teapots in the past, but um, these are actually easier to make than my double walled stuff. But so maybe 50,000. We'll give away a little teapot. How about that? But we need 48,000 more people. I'll contemplate one at 10,000. Contemplate it. I don't know if I like this one. I don't think I do. But why? First, well, I kind of know why it's harder to make little adjustments because it's not as dry. But I don't really want to torch it at this point. If I do this, is this going to make it worse or better? Guess there's only one way to find out. I only was doing a giveaway for the sake of uh, just like hey, I'm on YouTube now, and trying to get like because I have what 47-ish thousand people on Instagram, and I was kind of hoping that like a few of them would migrate over here. And I think the 12,000 people I have on TikTok, I was hoping some of them would migrate. The more people on TikTok have come than Instagram for sure. So it was just kind of like a thanks for coming over to this platform. I know. I like doing live videos. I don't really like posting. Um, and so I'll be here doing live videos a ton. I don't know how much I'll actually post to the channel. I'd rather like if I'm making something, I'd rather not take a video. I'd rather make it with you guys, and then I'll post the live afterward. But I don't I don't really want to be doing the video part of it. Not only do I not really enjoy it, the personal, I like the communication. Um, that does nothing for me outside of like a video. This is just more fun for me. How long have you had a mini horse and mini goat for? That's pretty sweet. I'm kind of jealous, honestly. Mm, gotcha. That's cool. Oh, you'll see it in a sec. Don't you worry. I don't like it as much as the first one, but I think we're gonna just call it. I'm getting tired. A little mini teapot. I'll clean it up in a second. I think that'll help a lot. Actually, I'll clean it up right now. What I don't like is that the lines aren't straight. The front one is curving in, and the other one is curving as straight up and down. So I think if they were both curved or they were both straight, I would like it more than a curve and a straight line for this specific piece. Thanks. Gross. Nice. How long you been doing that? I know, Pat, I do need some tiny sponges. That would help. Oh yeah, I can't complain. Yo, my feet hurt a ton. I'm excited to sit down. We're making little teapots, man. Little teapot pendants. Sounds good. Yeah, we're almost done. We're down to our last two. I'm just doing some final touches on this guy. I might futz with it more later off camera. I'm going to let it set up a little bit. Okay, last one. I want to just carve this handle a little less fat. Yeah, I'll be able to rest in a little bit. After this, I'm going to be done for a couple hours. I might come back in here, but I'm definitely going to go sit outside by a fire. It's a beautiful day. It's like 50 and sunny out. I had a fire all morning. I've been up since 6 outside by a fire. And then I came in here at 11, so I don't know what time it is now, but we've been here for 147 minutes. No, I decided to go against any kind of arch support or sole, whatever, but I do stand on a mat. That's nice. I really like ridiculously flat feet, and so I'm just kind of opting out of arch support. Hmm. You mean just have a stream going the entire wood firing? I could, but the problem is that I wouldn't be there to talk. It would just go and you could watch it, but I am not going to be actively participating in communication during that if that's the case. I've done them in the past too, and people just don't seem very interested in it. I'll have, and they'll do like a 15 or 20-minute live stream of firing the kiln, but I keep good back posture. I just, when I was a kid, my grandfather told me to walk around like this, and so I just have good posture because I'm always puffing out my chest just from how I was raised. Hmm. Yeah, there's not really much going on. You just look at a flame. Not even You don't even see a flame. You just see a door. I'm happy to do it, but I'm just telling you right now that no one ever cares during the actual process whenever I do it. It's like glazing streams. They do okay, but they're like, I mean, what really does well is not what I'm doing right now. Is It's just throwing, but yeah, yep. It also The problem is that if I live stream stuff while I'm firing, that means I can't use my phone, and I don't know if that's worth the trade-off. You know? Yeah, not in my kiln. So essentially, how I run my kiln is, um, I got a buddy who takes the first shift. He comes here at 6 a.m. I start the kiln, get everything ready for him, and then I just go back to bed. And then I come back and I finish the kiln off once he leaves. Yeah, posture is important. What do you mean by an external mic? Like just have it mic'd so you can hear the sound of it? I don't know how I feel about this handle either, but um, I have a coffin kiln. And then I also fire a Noborigama, and it's a converted Noborigama, a single chamber, and a Anagama. But I only fire the Amagama once a year in August. Oh, so you can just hear me talking? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, Pat. All right. I think that's it. Let me just show you guys the three we've made, and then I don't want to be in here anymore. I've been in here long enough. I'm so happy we only decided to make three today and not five like I anticipated, or like was thinking about when I first walked in. This was the move. Pretty cute, eh? Anyway, no, I taught myself the last semester of my or the second half of my senior year in college is when I taught myself how to throw. So, and I'm 33 or whatever now, or about to be. So, no, my studio is at my house. If I'm using the Anagama or the soda kiln or the converted Noborigama, I have to drive 20 minutes. But my wood kiln is in my garden, so I appreciate it. Okay, I'm off. I'm bored. I'm tired. I want to go have a fire and eat some food and sit in a hot tub. Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I might come back later. Probably not. Maybe tomorrow.